You're listening to the Small and Supercharged podcast with Ria Freeman, episode 9. So on today's podcast, we're joined by, I'm going to say one of my favourite people in the world, who is the lovely Ruth Chappell, aka Dressage Anywhere, aka when my digital stuff is going to hell in a hanging basket, she helps me. But she's definitely more Dressage Anywhere. I'm not sure she's up for helping with all your digital problems, just for the record. So Ruth, thank you very much for letting me torment you. Tell us all about you and Dressage Anywhere and how you got to do it.
So my career, my background is actually in publishing, and I used to work in educational publishing up until about 2015.
So is that textbooks and things like that?
It is, yes. So I used to work for Pearson Education, a traditional textbook publisher, but I was more on the digital side. So I headed up the digital product development department, dealing with learning management systems and CD-ROMs in the very early days. I don't think anybody uses those anymore. And various educational websites and test programs and things like that. So I did that up until 2015. But we actually started Dressage Anywhere back in we went live in 2010. We actually formed the company in 2009.
Oh wow.
And we went live January 2010, which was a nerve-wracking moment. And the idea was that we could put all of our energy into something that we were really passionate about. I must also say it's not just me behind Dressage Anywhere. There's 3 of us.
Okay.
Neredy Goodman, who's a BD List 1 judge, and Lucinda Freeman, who is involved with Wellington Riding. So we got together and we planned all of this out, and we launched it in 2010. And we really just wanted to just do something that we're all really passionate about, that we really enjoy. And that motivates us. Not that educational publishing didn't motivate me and I didn't enjoy it, because I did. And we weren't really sure where it was going to go and what we were going to do with it. Was it going to be something that we could just run alongside, everything else that we do as a bit of a hobby? Or would it become a big business that we could, do something else with? And the rest is history, really.
I think it's interesting because obviously the digital background, did that transfer quite well over to Dressage Anywhere from your point of view?
Yeah, it did, definitely, yes. So, I mean, I'm a bit geeky. I'm not
with the questions I throw at you. It's good.
Exactly. Well, I can handle those ones. I mean, I haven't built Dressage Anywhere myself. I've worked with a developer on that. We've got quite a sophisticated system that underpins everything. I mean, I manage it and tweak and make changes and whatnot now, but I haven't coded the whole thing. So I've got an appreciation for technology and all things geeky. So I guess my background has definitely contributed to that. And also, I work very closely with lots of other departments, sales and marketing, publishing departments, editorial departments. My background, my very, very early background is actually in editorial. So that helps massively with this kind of thing.
I mean, I think it's really interesting as well, because when you started Dressage Anywhere, you were pretty much on your own, weren't you? It wasn't, online dressage was not a popular thing. It was definitely put your horse in the trailer or the lorry, trundled off to a competition, did that. Whereas the online aspect, what first attracted you to that?
Well, I think this is going back some time now. When I first bought Jeffrey, my horse. If you follow Dressage Anywhere on social media, you'll know what he looks like.
And you had some beautiful pictures done by, I'm going to say Karen.
Yeah, Karen Bennett Photography. Yes.
So gorgeous, the pictures.
He's lovely. When I first bought him, I used to have weekly lessons with him, and my husband, who adores horses but had never ridden in his life, he used to come along to all my lessons, and he used to film them for me in all weathers, freezing cold, snow, hail, everything.
He's a hero, that man.
He is a hero. And so I'd look at the video, a day or two later. I'd look at our progress that we were making, and just really got something out of it. And because I could hear the instructor on the video, I could kind of re-engage with everything that they were teaching me.
Yeah.
But then I started to compete, Jeffrey. I mean, I was really lucky. I was stabled at a big venue that actually ran competitions, unaffiliated and affiliated competition. So I started competing, a bit of dressage, a bit of show jumping, some of the hunter trials. And Brian, bless him, my husband, he would come along and film all my dressage tests. So it was, you know, the learning continued, really. It was really great. And then working with Nerody and Lucinda, we just came up with this idea of, you know, being able to film a dressage test and have it judged by somebody, by, you know, a high listed BD judge, and then get your score sheet and some feedback and enter a competition and win a rosette and prize money out of it and all of that sort of thing. And the whole idea just kind of formed from there, and we got very carried away. And that was when Dressage Anywhere was born.
So the great thing about Dressage Anywhere, if you're listening and not sure what it is that you can compete anywhere in the world, and you have a series of tests, don't you, like a schedule and a program each month. So how does it work? And I mean, share some of the amazing countries that compete as well, because it's definitely not just in the UK.
No, it's not. I've lost count. I think my last count was 70, I want to say 76 countries around the world that are registered on Dressage Anywhere.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's had a really big global reach, which is really exciting. And I think on average we get around 11 or 12 different countries competing online every month. I think it's somewhere around that sort of region.
So each month you publish your schedule. So what kind of classes do you have? You know, how does it all work?
Well, we've got classes for everyone. So right from, you know, beginners, if you brand new to dressage, never ridden a dressage test in your life and want to see what it's all about, there's an intro level test or a prelim level test. An intro is just walk and trot, prelims walk, trot and canter. But those are the levels that are primarily aimed at beginners. And that goes right, our schedule goes right the way up: novice, elementary, medium, advanced,
Wow.
Right to the very top. But there's not just those monthly classes. We've got the ex-racehorse classes, we've got the veteran horse classes. So if you've got a horse that is 15 years or older, you can register to take part in veteran horse classes, which is really nice, because Jeffrey, bless his little heart, he's a golden older. He's 18 now. You know, he's not as supple and as nimble and agile as he used to be. So it's really nice that there's a class that people with older horses can come and take part in. And compete against each other rather than some of the really young, flashy, warm blood types. Yes, so we've also got classes for riding for the disabled and the pony club. So there's quite a range for people. And in addition to that, we've got championships, riding for the disabled online dressage championships. So what that means is riders can compete every month, get a qualifying score of 60% or above, and then they can take part in the championship show, which is run online, and we normally run that, I think it's around May time every year. So we're just in that qualifying period at the moment for the RDA.
Oh, wow.
What I love about the RDA championships is that, well, I love working with the RDA. They are such a great organisation to work with.
Yeah.
And every year they invite me to the RDA National Championships at Hartbury in July. And they give me a section in one of their prize givings where I can award medals and rosettes to our online champions. So I get to meet all of these guys, which is really special. And people make extra special trips to come to the championships to receive their medals. So because they're so proud of achieving something like that. And it's a real honour for me to do it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And you also do a BD championship, don't you?
We do, yes. And we're about to run the championship show that is open at the moment for entries, and the show itself runs during November. And that's really exciting. That's actually a BD online associated championship. So it's part of the associated championship group that BD run. and riders who've qualified for that have been competing since January to get 3 or more scores of 60% or above at a specific level, register their qualification online with us, and then they can compete in the championship show in November.
Actually, this will be out in November, this one. So when people listen to it, that'll all be going on from the people that have qualified for the last 11 months then, from the last show?
From January. Yeah.
January all the way till October?
Yes. September.
Okay, and then they compete in November. That's really exciting. Let's talk about the issues of having a digital only product, because I think that if you've got a physical product, you can go to a show, or even if you have an online shop, you're still giving a physical product when people make their purchase. But I think social media and like the online world gets a bit of a hard time for being a bit detached sometimes from its customers. So what do you feel about that, and how do you overcome the fact that you don't really have, or potentially you don't have that many touch points with your customer? And also, I think a digital product can be perceived as lower value sometimes because you don't have a physical thing to hold in your hand.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's something that I really realised a couple of years ago, that, it was really all well and good running an online business. I've got a lot of flexibility in where I work. I'm home-based at the moment, but, I can nip off for a couple of weeks down to Cornwall or something, or somewhere more exotic, maybe. Somewhere hot, which I have done. And, run the business from a mobile phone and a sun lounger, with a cocktail in my hand. I don't do that. I just want to make that really clear. That sounds really...
You're always there living it up with your cocktail.
I don't actually drink cocktails. But anyway, it allows you a lot of flexibility to work anywhere. But you're absolutely right. Running an online business can be quite hard to actually meet your customers and add that value. When you have a product to sell, and you meet your customers face to face, or maybe you work in retail or something like that, you can form quite a valued relationship and whatnot with your customers. But with an online business, there's that temptation that the customer will come to your website, they'll buy something, they'll get what they want, they'll go away, they might come back. You need to find ways to improve those touch points. So some of the things that we've done is to provide more email feedback to our customers. So yes, you come to Dressage Anywhere, you purchase your entry, you upload your video, you then receive an email with a link to download your score sheet. So it's not something in the post that you've got to wait until the end of the month to receive. No. You can get it straight away as soon as it's been judged. And there's a communication around that to our customers. But then if you go on to place in a competition or win a rosette or win a prize, then there's a whole raft of communications, different email types that those customers then receive, to keep them informed of what's going on, and to kind of provide those sort of friendly touch points so we can start to build a relationship with them. But social media is really, really important with an online business or a digital business. I'm not sure I've got it nailed just yet, but
very, very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
But I think with the background that I have, there is that temptation to be really too corporate with customers.
Yeah.
And I've started to try and develop a more friendly nature, and more friendly voice, and just be me, actually, because I am really friendly and nice and approachable. And
I will vouch for that.
Thank you. But I want my customers to feel that as well. So social media plays a really important part. We're on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and if customers want to message us directly, we're more than happy to get back to them and talk to them that way. We've also got our own members Facebook group, and there's bits and bobs happening over in there from time to time. People come forward with suggestions, and obviously being an online business, we can make changes to our program and like applications really quickly as well, so we can respond to that. What else? Oh, there's my help desk as well.
Your help desk? So people send you a question, is this, if they've got a query?
Yeah, so if anybody has a problem accessing something on the website, or they've got a question about their eligibility on something, then they can email the help desk, and we can help resolve any queries they might have there as well.
Oh, that's good. I think as well, when you're saying about social media, I think that even with a digital product, it's so important to get your face out there as the person behind the brand. I know you put pictures of Jeffrey on, pictures of the dogs, pictures of yourself, and I think that's so important, because if you can kind of envisage, I know when I send an email, I'm kind of thinking in my head about the person I'm writing it to. And therefore I'll probably use language that I feel is appropriate. So if I know you, I'm not going to put, dear Ms. Chappell, and then, it's kind of, but I know, and I'm sure your customers feel the same, because they know you as Ruth. So they instantly feel that connection, because they get to see you and talk to you, and you reply to their help desk queries, or they see you show up in the Facebook group, or they see you as a video or an image. And I think that's a really good way to bridge the connection.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, actually. And there's a number of customers that have been with us for quite a long time, that I do have really lovely friendships with as well now. There's one in particular, Fiona. She's absolutely wonderful. She's so sweet, and very sadly last year we lost one of our Labradors. We had to have him put to sleep, and I was absolutely heartbroken. We were due to go on holiday around that time as well, so things on Dressage Anywhere went a little bit quiet for a week or so, and I think I popped a message onto Facebook to say, I'm really sorry that we've been quiet this week, just had some bad news about our dog, and sad times kind of thing. And there was a lot of support, lots of really lovely people saying, I'm really sorry to hear that. But Fiona just took that several steps further, and actually mailed me something really sweet, a little keepsake, which I've got hanging up in my office, which was just and I won't say what it was very, very sweet, but it's a little keepsake for me to remember Hudson by. And it's just little things like that you think, oh my gosh, I've made these friendships and these relationships and connections with people through the business, and that's really lovely, and that really touches me.
Oh, that's really lovely. So being an online-only business obviously does have its issues, and I think that one that probably everyone's thinking about a lot more recently, since May this year, is GDPR, even blooming cookies consent, and all the other stuff that sent me into meltdown, just because I didn't understand it. Although my website was fine, things I didn't understand, because it's not really my bag. But how do you deal with that? Because also you deal with people's I know there's different classes of data and information, but how do you sort all of that? Because I know you're not a massive business, but it is really important that businesses of all sizes comply with all these aspects. So how do you do that?
No, it is really important. And I think as a digital business, as an online business in particular, we've got a responsibility to protect people's data. I mean, we have to do that by law anyway, but I think there are a number of smaller businesses out there who, not necessarily in the same field, the same market that I'm in, that don't necessarily understand their responsibilities. And maybe just throw something up, a WordPress site or whatever, without really understanding what underpins security and everything. So we take all of that really, really seriously, and we always have done. And I think because of my background and the sorts of work that we've all done in the past, we've got a fairly grasp of what is required. So even before GDPR was ever spoken about or came along, we had a lot of different measures in place which protect people's data particularly. So there's all sorts of things, financial things around, oh God, I won't bore you with the details, and I don't understand all of them anyway. So, but things like PCI compliance and, where you're protecting people's payment information, it's really important to have all of that in place. And you have to understand the vulnerabilities that you might have on your website, or even with your machines, anything that can be hacked into in your office. So we've always taken those sorts of things seriously and put lots of different measures in place to make sure that everything is as secure. I mean, nothing is secure, is it? Because everything can be hacked at some point. But I think if you make the effort to put all of those things in place and you have policies and procedures that you can follow, to make sure you know what to do and what your responsibilities are. If there is an issue or a breach or a hack, then I think, that's really good.
No, absolutely. I think it's a really good, a really interesting topic. And also, again, when you put in your payment details, you also put the little padlock and the S after the HTTPS. But it's good to know that, again, when you find something from like Next or somewhere, you'd expect all that. But also, it's really important all the way down.
Yeah.
Small, just started one-man bands and everything in between, that they have all these relevant measures in place really to protect themselves actually as well as their customers.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head there, to be honest. It's not just about protecting customers, but it is about protecting yourself as well, because if you are the cause of a breach, or your lack of understanding or knowledge on a particular area causes a breach and causes somebody to lose their data or get hacked or whatever, then that's not great. That's not going to reflect well on you, and it's not going to reflect well on your business. So it's really important to get those sorts of things in place and make sure that you're as compliant as you possibly can be.
I think that's what the other thing about when you create a website, especially something like Dressage Anywhere, which isn't you didn't just knit to WordPress and buy a template like I did, which was mine was heavily customized, but you can't do that. It's been built from the ground up. So when you're working on that, obviously you can put things like data protection and all these data security, and all these aspects in, but also you've got to make the customer experience really good to make it easy for somebody to use, because it can be secure as a secure thing, but actually if you're not also aware of the design, you're never going to need the security aspect because no one's using it. So how do you balance all that? What kind of things did you think about when you were creating it?
We wanted to make it as easy as possible to use, and I think if you go back to 2009 when we first formed the business, and this was a really new market and a new, very niche, different thing to do. Not, you would say to somebody, oh yeah, we're running an online dressage business, and they would go, what the bloody hell is that? And you have to explain it to them. Oh wow, how do you do that? And the key is simplicity and automation. So for Dressage Anywhere, you come into Dressage Anywhere to make your entry. You do absolutely everything you need to do with regards to that entry on the Dressage Anywhere website, and you don't need to leave it to go off somewhere else and put your video somewhere else that somebody else can then access and make it available for judging and that sort of thing. Everything is done in the Dressage Anywhere application, if you like, in our platform. So we've tried to automate as much of that as possible. So once your entry's made, you can then go away and come back and upload your video another time. It doesn't have to be done on the day. But then as soon as your video's been uploaded, that then pings an email to the judge to say there's a video ready for you to judge. They can then log into Dressage Anywhere to view the video, and they can be anywhere in the world as well. They don't have to be here in the UK. They could be off on holiday or whatever. So they then judge the test online, and as soon as they click the button to save the score sheet, that then pings an email to the customer to say, your test has been judged.
Wow.
Here's a link to download your score sheet, and they can view it there and then as soon as it's been judged. So the whole idea was to kind of make it as straightforward and as simple as possible, so that absolutely anybody, any age, can get involved and take part in dressage.
No, definitely, I love that. Now, you said obviously when you started up, you were very new. The concept was very new.
Yeah.
But I think anyone who's listening to this who has a social media account will see that now there are quite a number of online based, not just dressage actually, there's I've seen various other showing photo shows, a lot of online competitions, let's say. Yeah. How do you kind of deal with that? Because obviously I know I don't take being copied terribly well. Okay, it might be an understatement. But it is really difficult. How do you deal with when you see sort of new competitors pop up?
Well, I think that's an interesting one. I think in the really early days, I was a little bit concerned about it, and concerned about what it meant for us, for Dressage Anywhere. And it would, it did in my previous job as well, when some of our products were copied back then. You you'd wonder, well, gosh, does somebody think they can do this better? And are they going to do it better, actually? That could be quite a worry. But in actual fact, the reality is that it just makes the market bigger for everybody.
Yeah. And people are different. They bring, I'll be honest, I haven't competed with any other dressage people, so I don't know their system, but I would imagine it's probably different to yours.
Yeah, I would expect so, yes. I think, we've developed this from the ground up when there wasn't really anybody around doing this before. So everything that Dressage Anywhere delivers and the way that it has been developed is unique. It's unique to us, and it's not a concept that anybody else has delivered.
I think that's a really good point. That's a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to focus on your own game as well. I think, and certainly in my previous life in publishing, you would get fixated on what your competitors were doing, and you'd be, trying to develop marketing tactics or sales tactics to undercut the competition and do better than them or outsell them in some way. And I don't think that's particularly healthy, to be honest.
You're not focusing on what you're personally doing.
Precisely, yeah. And you've got wonderful Jane from Confident Rider. I love she's fantastic.
We love Jane.
We do love Jane. If you're listening, Jane, hi. But the one thing that she says is stay in your own lane, which is the same thing as play your own game. But I think if you get bogged down with what competitors are doing, or you're concerned about the impact it's having on you or it's going to have on you, I think you take your eye off your own business and your eye off the ball. And you've got to think about your customers and how you're going to serve them and how you're going to carry on doing that. So, but like I say, it makes the market bigger. So if there are more people out there saying, hey, do online dressage or compete in online whatever, then it's going to build awareness across the market. And that's only going to be great for everybody, to be honest.
The problem is then you're not progressing yourself. You're looking behind you at what the people are doing. And as you say, you're then potentially delivering not a worse service to your customers, but you're not looking forward and looking how you can personally improve.
Yeah.
Looking back at what others are doing, which isn't particularly helpful or positive for anybody, really.
No, absolutely. And the great thing about Dressage Anywhere is because we've built this system from the ground up, there's an awful lot more it can deliver. I don't want to say too much about that because I'll give loads of secrets away, but there are a whole...
But it's exciting that, as you say, again, another good reason is that you're looking ahead.
If I was focused on what other people are doing in the same kind of market that we're in, then we wouldn't be able to do that. We wouldn't be able to look to the future and look ahead and make plans for new developments and stuff. So
completely.
Yeah.
No, that's really, really good. Okay, so if you were giving someone some tips, if they were looking to set up a digital business, what would you, in kind of summary, what would be like your top tip to do with someone who's got a digital business? I mean, I would guess it's probably along the customer experience line.
Yes. Okay, so my top tips for running an online business. The way that you can add value to your customers in other ways. It doesn't have to be just about social media and taking nice photos and doing nice captions and whatever. There can be lots of other things that you can build around what you do. You might have something that you're packaging up and posting out to your customers. So how about a handwritten note or something, just to add a bit of a personal touch, or upgrade your packaging, or there are so many different things that you can do nowadays with packaging that is affordable, that you can really make work for your business.
Actually, a lot of the gestures that people talk about on social media are free. The handwritten note, which I appreciate is, of course, because it is somebody physically writing it, but it's the little touches, isn't it? It's not the gestures, or it comes and it's got a bit of a ribbon on it and you feel special, or that the envelope is color coded, or little things. Yeah,
absolutely. But I think for any online business, it's really important to understand what your responsibilities are, around data protection, GDPR, obviously that's been a big thing this year, and we've all had to go through all of that and make sure that we're compliant and make sure that, you know, we've got measures in place to protect people's data. But there's also that whole security aspect. You know, we're living in this digital age now where most of us have got some online presence, and it's really important that all businesses, whether they're, you know, massive Facebooks or Googles or whatever, or small businesses like Dressage Anywhere, one-man bands, like you say, it's really important they understand the risks associated with running an online business and what they have to do to get compliant. But I think another one would be around making life as easy as you possibly can for your customers. I was really lucky to work with many user experience designers in my past job, and, you know, we would look for the easiest way for a customer to start making a transaction to actually getting the product or whatever it was that you do.
Yes, it's a kind of journey, isn't it? So it's from going into stage of finding the product to buying it to putting your details in to all this, and you have to log in, log out. And I have to say, I have gone out of so many websites at that stage because I think, oh, I haven't got my password, or I haven't got this, or it's remembered this, or now it's moved me to something else. And I just go, actually, you know what? I haven't got half an hour to spend on this. I'm going to just move on with my life, which is awful.
Yeah, exactly. And there aren't many websites out there like that nowadays, but I think, you know, it's really important to make it as easy as possible for your customer to use your website and go through the whole customer journey. So look for anything that you can automate, and automation as well. It's one of those things at the moment about that I see a lot in the business world, about making life easier for you as a business owner, automating as much of your systems as you possibly can.
You know, I think it's really good because it also allows you more time to concentrate on the things that, like we were saying about, you know, being really active on social, putting nice newsletters together. If you're running around emailing a judge going, oh, there's something up for you to judge, here's the link, and then they're emailing you back, and then if you're having to do all of that, you haven't got the time to actually grow your business, to develop your business, and to look ahead at the other things that are going to enhance the user experience. That's a really good point about automation.
Yeah, definitely. Automate as much as you possibly can. Even, you know, there's just so much you can do these days. You don't have to be a clever programmer or anything like that to do it. I mean, obviously you can, but there's just so much in Excel and, you know, various other applications that you can develop automation. I love a checklist, absolutely love a checklist as well. I mean, that's not necessarily about automation, but that's about making sure that I haven't forgotten to do something. So, you know, I develop lots of checklists for the activities that I do at the end of the month. You know, once the competition is closed, I tick everything off to make sure I've not missed anything. So it's, you know, it's just things like that really that I think are very important.
That is brilliant. Thank you very much, Ruth. Tell us where we can find you everywhere online.
So we are online at dressageanywhere.com, and we're on Facebook as Dressage Anywhere. We're on Twitter as dressage_comp.
Okay.
I think we're on Pinterest as Dressage Online.
Okay.
And we're on Instagram as dressage_anywhere.
Excellent. And it's the lovely, if you're looking, it's the green and white branding anyway. So it's it's really good. Thank you very, very much, Ruth. You're a diamond. And thank you I've learned a lot, and I know you quite well. So I've learned a lot today. Thank you very, very much.
Been a pleasure.